Ready? Go. 1, 2.
One of the first jobs I had to do was to welcome Prince Andrew to the borough. He was coming to open a new boat station for the sea cadets.
Mike Sheldon, the chairman, will be on your left.
Right. So I just follow humbly.
You follow the we'll do what we did with the Duke of Kent last time, or Duke of Gloucester last time.
I think it went very well. It was a splendid afternoon. The weather was excellent. The cadets behaved themselves, as I guess they would anyway, and they thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was brilliant organisation from Mike and his team because it was both formal and relaxed, which I think is actually quite difficult to achieve. And so it was a very, very happy occasion. Great for the Duke to come down and see the young Richmond, and great for them to see him. So it was just lovely. Beer has been brewed in the borough for centuries, and every year the Mayor receives a special consignment, the Mayor's Brew.
There you go. That's
Absolutely fantastic. Oh, it's just absolutely beautiful. Yes, I've seen that somewhere before, and I think it's on the chain. Good. So that's really good. Brilliant replica on the bottles. It's wonderful.
Who else are you going to give the beer to?
Oh, it'll go to lots of charitable events for raffles and fundraising like that, as well as going to all the sailors on board HMS Richmond. And I thought I'd give little gifts perhaps to some of the staff here at Christmas.
And then pour it into the here.
Yes, that looks lovely. Right, it's a bit foamy. Delicious. Help yourselves. Well, I've invited the 3-year-olds and under, and all their carers, wherever they are, to York House this morning, and luckily the sun is shining, because we have lots of older people coming to York House, and I think sometimes the younger residents and their carers don't get accepted here or don't realise that the gardens and the house belong as much to them as to everybody else.
Hello. Hello, nice to see you. Hello. Very nice of you to come. Hello.
So we've got 2 play centres here, and any other carer, children, whether they're mummy, granny, grandpa, daddy, partner, whatever. They're all welcome here this morning, plus the children in their care, and it's lovely to see them.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's been brilliant. What a very nice thing to do.
If you're happy and you know it and you're want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet.
This was the old Queen Mum's car, or one of the cars, which I believe this particular one, I'm told, went from Clarence House to Sandringham. And her coat of arms is still on the boot lid. You get outside the Mansion House and you get the Japanese tourists coming around the city, and they all, oh, and they all get their cameras out because this is the car they want to photograph. You've got Jags, stretch Jags, long wheelbase Jags, Mercedes, Volvos, everything. And then the old Duchess is sitting in the middle of them all, and she's the one they want to photograph. Now, who was that? Everybody flashes their lights and waves, but you don't remember who they all are.
Well, you're quite well known, I have to admit.
So's the car, that's the thing.
How many mayors have you done?
I think I'm coming up now for the 17th. Yes, it's coming up for the 17th. Every mayor's different. Same as everybody else is different, you know. Each have their own ways. Each live in a different place, different families, different pets, different cars they drive, different way they like to do things. You never get a chance to get bored because as soon as you get settled down, the year's gone by and there's another mayor coming along.
Well, we're doing a rather fun engagement. We're off to have a glass of wine on a bench overlooking the view from Richmond Hill. And this is because the person who has the bench is called Edward Bostock, and it was given to him, I think 5 or 6 years ago, in recognition of his work for the borough. And so he commemorates this every year by inviting the existing mayor and consort, if there's one, to go and have a glass of wine with him overlooking the view, sitting on the bench. And Edward Bostock is now over 90, and I've seen him and met him a number of times, and he's, as far as I can see, as fit as a flea and absolutely all together, and it's jolly good company. So I'm looking forward to my visit very much indeed. Yeah, now can I have a look at what's on the bench?
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes, indeed.
In honour of Edward Bostock, CBE, President of Richmond upon Thames Arts Council, former Mayor and Alderman. Well, are we allowed to sit on it?
Oh, yeah. Yes, please do.
That, right.
There are still people who call Edward Alderman.
Yes,
There
so they
are
jolly
still.
well
There
should.
are some people who
They
still call
jolly
him
well
Alderman
should,
Bostock.
absolutely. There we are.
Yeah,
Now we
good.
look at the view.
Now, yes, I am one of the very, very few people who can sit on his own bench.
Quite.
Because all the others are in memory of.
Yes, I didn't like to say that, but it's absolutely true.
Yes. So, I'm one of the very few people who's alive to have a bench, and I'm very proud of myself.
Right, so if I say, how old were you when you were mayor?
Oh, well, I was, let's see, 59, and I was born in 08. I was 51 years old.
Right, so you achieved your half century.
Yes.
And you were
Ju-
mayor. Just. What a nice thing to do. How lovely, how lovely.
So that's how it all happened, yes.
Right, and so, well, I suppose I now add on
Yes.
40-something years.
Yes. It was 41 years, isn't it?
41 years.
Yes.
Good heavens.
1960 to 2001.
Good heavens.
Yeah.
But you don't look a day over 80. Actually, you don't look a day over 70, as a matter of fact.
No, he doesn't.
You don't. Richmond is twinned with 3 other towns. One of them is Fontainebleau, near Paris. It's Café de Richmond.
Je vais vous recevoir dans mon bureau. Là,
Merci.
cadeau, ça c'est...
On a recent visit, the entente was as cordial as ever.
Oh, magnifique.
Et
Ah bon?
voilà.
Oh, chocolate covered nuts.
Excellent.
They're just perfect.
Et ça c'est un livre sur Fontainebleau en français et en anglais, in both languages. October, hein, c'est ça. Voilà. October, voilà.
Très bien.
Mayor of Fontainebleau.
Oh, de maître, bravo.
Penchez là.
Oui, oui.
Madame Toupin, il y a une longue coopération entre Richmond et Fontainebleau.
Vive la France, le pays des 400 fromages et de l'amour. Vive la France, vive la France,
Oui.
vive la France.
You do meet the great and the good as mayor, but some of the most enjoyable events are visiting garden allotments.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to see you. Thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure, really, to
It's
assure you.
wonderful to be here.
And then you can
Okay,
talk
right.
if
Do
you
you mind if I put my dark glasses on?
No, of
Sorry
course
about that,
not.
but I
Of course not.
it's much easier.
If I'd have known we were going to go in disguise, I'd have brought a pair. Now, it doesn't matter if you only come up here and you grow 5 carrots.
Well, that's
As
fine.
long as you
Yes.
enjoy growing
Yes.
5 carrots.
Yeah.
Right.
If I can then put you back in the line then. Probably a little bit. If you hold the cup as well, that's it. Nice, a little bit higher. That's it. That's great. All this way again. That's perfect. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the borough, I would like to say how wonderful it is to be here and to make this presentation. So may I offer you my congratulations, and can I present you with this cup? So I shake your hand.
Thank you.
It's lovely to see the mayor turn up with the retinue, and of course with the car and John. They are part of this. I mean, John has been doing that job for so many years now that if that didn't happen, we would wonder very much what was going on.
Two weeks after I had become mayor, there was a general election.
Yes. Do you have a number you can give us? Thank you very much. PB number 587.
Each borough organises the voting within its own boundaries, and the mayor, by tradition, is the returning officer for the borough. I'm just getting ready to go off to the count following today's general election, and for me it's a dream come true. When I was a child, I took a keen interest in election results, and I can remember one election where my grandmother called out the results as they came in. I don't know what time I went to bed that night. And then I can remember later on lying in bed listening to the election results as they came through and thinking this was thrilling. And to be the returning officer for a general election, well, it's a dream come true for me. So I'm looking forward to tonight very much. When you come into the count, it's not the sports hall anymore. It's a scene of the democratic process at work. and it's actually very exciting. You've got the people doing the count, you've got all the scrutineers from the different parties going up and down and keeping an eye on how the votes are being counted, and you've got the candidates trying to be calm, and you've got their families trying to keep them calm, and it's a very exciting moment.
Could candidates please come forward now? Thank you. I, Eleanor Stanier, being the returning officer at the election of a Member of Parliament held on the 7th day of June 2001, hereby give notice that the total number of votes recorded for each candidate at this election is as follows. Longworth Nicholas Roger Simon, Conservative, 16,689. Maciowska Judy Sarah, Green, 1,423. Rogers Dean Peter, Labour, 6,903. Cable John Vincent, Liberal Democrat, 24,344. John Vincent Cable is duly elected a member for the Twickenham constituency.
The investiture takes place in the lovely old church of St Mary's at Twickenham.
Would you please sit down?
The second reading is from the letter of Paul to the Philippians, chapter 2, verses 1 to 11.
So what have you got coming up today?
Well, we've got, possibly, nearly 5-5, we've got Roy Jenkins, who's coming to the Book Now Literary Festival to talk about his latest book, which is a biography of Churchill. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
Mr. David Williams.
David Williams.
Yes, absolutely.
The organiser of this event.
Can I have your address?
Now, would you like to come on in and meet our sponsors of the Book Now Festival?
Oh, you're the magnet.
This is Councillor Larry, who's the leader of the council. Yes, that's nice, but what upset him was the wrong party. Yes, you said he was dinosaur Labour, yes, absolutely. Yes, that was very nice.
How old is he? About 85?
Yes, he was nearly 85 when he died. He did jolly well. Yes.
Squeeze in just a little bit. Just one more. Okay.
Red wine?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If you could say that you hope I enjoyed as much as I enjoyed Gladstone, that would be really nice. I loved Gladstone and I very much look forward to reading this.
The one we've done now, 60 or 70 even. Good now? 68. We've got one to do that, 69.
Kneller Hall is the institution that trains military bandsmen, and we're lucky to have them in the borough. We've already heard them once, and because I like them so much, you're going to hear them again. Every now and then, the London mayors all meet up together. One of these occasions was at Westminster Abbey.
How did you feel walking along in a procession this day?
Well, I felt rather proud. I felt that we were walking in history, which you do in Westminster Abbey. It's quite quaint, and you walk past all the famous tombs. It was full of pageant, and then it made me think, is there a place for pageant in modern life? And I think there is, if it's inclusive. It's quite democratic because all the mayors come from huge range of backgrounds, and there we all were in a very establishmenty bit of England. So I thought it was actually a worthwhile event.
I think the function of the mayor is to act as a bridge between the council, which is very important but no one understands, and the people who think they know what a mayor is. And people recognise mayor, they know about change, children know about mayors because they read about them in books. So even though the mayor may not have actual power, the mayor is a symbol which can act as long as the mayor's outward going enough and spends enough time with the community, can act as a real bridge between that community and the elected representatives of that community.
It validates people. I didn't realise until I started how important it was. The council, the borough, isn't run by council, it's actually run by ordinary people looking after other people and caring it matters. If the mayor goes to visit them or invites them, it makes them realise that they're important, that they matter, and that they're part of the borough. That's what mayors are for.
How many people? I mean, a lot of babies are born at night time. My last one.
One of the things about being mayor is that you get presented with lots of nibbles. I asked some ex-mayors if this had been a problem for them.
If you're out for 4 or 5 events in the course of the day, you can come across 4 or 5 finger buffets. So you end up picking and picking at all sorts of bits and pieces and never having a meal. And I do remember right at the beginning of the mayoralty, I was advised by a former mayor and long-standing councillor, Alison Cornish, who said, well, she said, at all costs, she said, avoid the quiche.
How many mayors lose weight in the course of their year?
I think all mayors tendency to lose weight by the amount of hours they put in.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Really?
You know?
Yeah.
But you all eat so much.
Well, yes, be fair to them, you know, their days might start not to before 10 o'clock in the morning in a sense, but they're normally here doing things till 10, 12 o'clock at night.
The most important thing you do as mayor is talk and listen to people. That's what you're there for.
That's what you're
and
for.
Actually, if you're nibbling at the same time, you're only going to nibble a small amount because you're meant to be listening, really. That's what they've got you there for.
You're quite right.
One of the strangest events of the year is the annual celebration of the memory of Bernardo O'Higgins. O'Higgins spent some time in Richmond before going out to become one of the great freedom fighters of South America, and he helped to liberate Chile. A bust has been raised in his honour next to Richmond Bridge.
Now, I would like to invite the Mayor of Richmond, Councillor Eleanor Stanier, to say a few words.
Thank you. Your Excellency, it is an honour to stand here today on the birthday of Bernardo O'Higgins to pay tribute to his achievements. It's a proud moment for the London Borough of Richmond upon Thames. I hope we forge fresh links between the borough and your country, Mr. Ambassador, building on the links made by our respective predecessors, and that we can build on that friendship and make more people, particularly young people in the borough, aware of your and our Chilean hero. Thank you for inviting me to here today. Thank you.
Now, we will proceed with the laying of the wreaths. Now, the Mayor of Richmond, Councillor Eleanor Stanier, on behalf of the London Borough of Richmond upon Thames.
One of the most memorable moments for me was meeting the cows on Petersham Meadow.
We'll just get the mayor. Where is she? If you're prepared to take your life in your hands.
Try to think what's going on behind me.
Nothing at all, you've got to worry about.
A day like this, with a view like this,
and with the mayor handing over these meadows, which have been with cattle now. There's going to be a bull in a couple of weeks. So you just stay there, lad. This is the sort of essence of England, really. The cows have grazed here for 300-400 years. You couldn't have a finer view, and we're just 9 miles from Hyde Park Corner.
It's important for tourists, it's important for residents, it's important for anyone who wants their spirits lifted.
And it's still as it was when Turner painted it in 1792, I think it was. I hand you that, and you hand
you that one.
Marvellous.
And then we'll shake hands again.
Yes.
And then we all have a drink.
Right. Well, I think now's the moment for a toast. To the cows. I've never toasted cows before, but
No, it's a very good idea.
A final word of thanks to everybody, because I know this is the culmination of years and years of hard work. These things don't just happen. And I think it's a lovely English characteristic that very active citizens like you take a really active part in the borough, in whatever borough it is, and I think it's a great day for local politics. So perhaps we could also toast communities and politics as well, when they work.
Communities, politics.
Yeah.
It's just really talking a bit about your life being there. Mainly to do also for Christmas. So
Yes.
talk about what you're going to be doing for Christmas, and your chosen charities, which I know, and why you've chosen doing that, and your free time, and then at the very end maybe you could give them, the listeners, a message for Christmas.
Yes.
Eleanor, are you enjoying being Mayor of Richmond Borough?
Yes, I'm loving it.
What makes you love it so? Being out there with the people?
I think I love the variety of it. That's probably the most important thing. And then I love meeting people anywhere. I'm quite an extrovert person. And you meet different people all the time, and you meet all ages, and you're in different venues all the time. So the variety is really very important to me. And the other thing is I'm very humbled because people are doing so many good things for their fellow mortals. And I come out of meetings or social gatherings completely humbled, and I enjoy that feeling.
Is there anything that particularly stands out in your mind of your visits that you've done?
Well, I don't really like picking anything out, because actually it's quite often the very small things that mean the most to me. But I suppose I ought to say that going to St James's Palace tomorrow, because it's the 100th year, the centenary year of something called the London Mayors Association. And they're having a reception at St James's Palace tomorrow, and the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh are going to be there. And so I suppose that'll be quite memorable. But that sounds rather grand, and it's often the little things that I really like joining a community centre for a drink or a toast or a cup of tea, or sitting on the grass with a lot of babies who've got disabilities but were having early intervention, and meeting them and their parents. That's what I enjoy, really.
And finally, Eleanor, do you have a message for our listeners for Christmas?
Yes, I wish everybody a very happy Christmas, and as the Queen is hoping to come and see us in the borough, I'm sure we'll have lots of borough celebrations for the Jubilee. So a happy New Year to you all.
Thank you very much. That's it. Okay.
Was that all right?
Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
There are two school councils, one for primary schools and one for secondary, which are designed to introduce young people to democracy. I won't keep you very long, but can I say welcome to the council chamber, which is where we hold our monthly, as they are now, council meetings. And you are all councillors, and you're sitting in the same places as the members of council, and I'm standing where I always stand, and then sit and control the meeting, which is a bit like being a chairperson and also a bit like being a speaker in the House of Commons if you've ever watched television. At today's meeting, they were electing a new deputy mayor and the various candidates were making their speeches.
So, I'm Matthew Phillips and I'd like to represent the Richmond Borough as Student Deputy Mayor. I think I have a lot to offer to the meetings. I have a loud voice so everyone can hear me. I'm a very good debater, I speak my mind at all times and I get the point through.
I'm not shy at making my views heard. However, another quality which I also possess is that I can listen to people. Democracy is my middle name. Being here today has made me value the chance to interact with others, to make our borough a better place.
Come on in, Angela, this is my parlour, which is, I've had it decorated. After the meeting, the student mayor came to have a chat with me in the parlour. Because I love visitors signing my book, and then put student there.
What do students most care about in these schools?
Probably cleanliness and hygiene.
That's interesting, isn't it? And have you cracked it?
Well, inside the schools, I know from the reports back from these meetings, they've gone to like the headmaster or whatever, and we've definitely improved the litter situation. Anyway. I'm not so sure about the toilets yet, but is it a lot of work being there?
It is. My diary is pretty full. As against that, it's just been terrific fun, and rather like you know, I often get nervous, but it's just so interesting. I mean, it is just endlessly interesting. And I do love, I mean, I'm an extrovert. Are you an extrovert?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I like meeting people. It's not a problem to me. I just love it.
If you want to row in the Great River Race, then we have somebody here who needs an extra rower. And would you go to the registration table immediately, please?
The Great River Race, which is what we're going to, has been going for 12 years. It starts in Ham and it ends up at Island Gardens in Greenwich. And I'm going to welcome all the riparian mayors that are coming to take part. The boroughs that adjoin the Thames are known as the riparian boroughs, and they have all entered a boat for the race.
You're going in the other way?
Going all the way, yes.
Yes.
Because we end up in Tower Hamlets, don't we? Allen Gardens.
Oh, yes.
Hello, nice to see you.
Again, yeah. Are you ready to row?
Vote number 30. And for you, ma'am, what is important about the Great River Race?
Well, I think it's encouraging use of the river by all sorts of craft and reminding us how important the River Thames is to us and how we could all use it much, much more. So I'm happy to wave you all off and hope that Michael Jones's boat wins.
I think it's something like 4,000 people in this boat. Close to 4,000 involved with this whole thing. And
The ITN crew are here, and one of the announcers are going to set off the race.
Out of the way, quickly!
Your boat there, push it round, out the way. Come on, we're on a time.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're very near to the firing of the cannon for the start of the race. So you have a groupie. Take a look.
I'm looking at the chains which I wear as Mayor of the Borough. They're the old Richmond chain, as opposed to Twickenham chain, as opposed to Barnes chain. The enamel here is quite modern, that's to say it was 1965, and it was inserted on the chain when the three boroughs of Barnes, Richmond and Twickenham all came together in 1965 as a fresh new London borough, and so a new enamel badge was created to represent the new style of borough. As you can see, probably, there are roses on the chain, and it shows the connection between the borough and the Tudors. After all, Henry VII, who founded Richmond Palace, was the first Tudor. Now, when I first put the chains on, it's a thrill. It's at the council meeting where you're invested with the office of mayor for the next meeting. At the time, I didn't wear the robes because my predecessor had decided that robes were inappropriate in meetings, which I think she's right about. So I stuck to that. I did put the robes on for the civic service and the chain on top, of course, and that's a great thrill and it's very romantic.
We've got to, this is the bit I'm very curious about. Even I'm going into the land of the unknown with this.
Some years ago, about 2 generations ago, Richmond received a lot of Vietnamese boat people into the borough. That was in the 1970s. And a number of them have been here ever since. So they're part of the borough, very much part of the borough. But it's an aspect you don't expect to find in either Richmond or Twickenham, really. But there they are, so I'm looking forward to meeting them. We're off to a Vietnamese New Year's party, celebration afternoon party. It's in the White House Community Centre in Hampton. Not sure how many people will be there, but they're giving me refreshments and they're celebrating the Year of the Horse. So I'm looking forward to it. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I don't think I've ever seen the White House so beautifully decorated. In fact, I don't think I'm in the borough of Richmond at all. I think I have been transported to Vietnam. After the dragon dance came another old Vietnamese tradition, distributing the lucky New Year money to the children. Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
My lords and ladies, Baroness, members of Parliament, member of the European Parliament, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, I worship the Mayor, Councillor Eleanor Stanier.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to York House. The fact that we are all here is to mark the retirement as leader after 17 years of Richmond Council, which is a very long time. I'm reading out a letter from Baroness Sally Hamley because I think it actually reflects what a lot of us feel. She says she's really sorry she can't be here tonight. There are all sorts of reasons why I would like to be with you, not least, sorry to be slightly emotional, to thank you for all your support to her over such a long period. Had you not, on the way back from the pub one evening in March, query, 1982, said, "I've got someone to chair all the committees except planning, and you're a lawyer, so you could do it."
Now, I did ask Tim Razzle, who is an expert in these matters, if he knew any dirt about you. He said he knew absolutely no dirt about David, and that's the reason he lasted so long. So I think that's an unsolicited testimonial from a solicitor. Seriously, David, we're delighted to be having this party to celebrate your extremely long tenure. You are a legend in Richmond, a legend in London. All your colleagues who are leaders of councils retired long before you, and you were easily the doyen of council leaders in London. We've had a board manufactured for you to go in the council chamber. And you've got your own board, and you're with Harry Hall, John Baker and Kim Morrell, so you're in good company.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be with you tonight for this happy occasion. When the invitation came through, I must admit I did experience a slight queasiness because I thought, should I be going to celebrate a Liberal Democrat leader who's decided to stand aside? This is not something that I want to become a precedent, as it were, at least not just yet. But there was not a moment's hesitation, as it were, because this gentleman that we are complimenting and paying tribute to tonight has made such a fantastic contribution. And I think that he is one of the outstanding inspirational figures, certainly for me personally, in terms of the party, but I think also an inspirational figure for the quality and the integrity that can be brought to bear in public life. And for all of that, David, and to both of you, for all that you have to put up with as well. Long suffering. Thank you very much indeed, and it's a privilege as well as fun, as it always is, to be with you socially tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charles, and thank you, Serge, and thank you, Eleanor, for that. That was very touching, and I really don't deserve all these plaudits.
Oh, yes, you do.
It isn't just in politics, it's in all public life. We do get some bloody irritating people occasionally. Not very many, but enough. And every now and again we would just love to write a letter to say what we really feel to some of these people. Well, for Gillian Norton and the officers, I will offer you this. This was written by an MP called Anthony Henley, who represented Southampton in the 1730s. Only the corporation members voted in the elections. And in 1733, they asked him to oppose the excise bill. And he wrote this letter in reply. "Gentlemen, I received yours, and I am surprised at your insolence in troubling me about the excise. I'll give you a copy, Gillian, later. You know what I well know, that I bought you. And I know what perhaps you think I don't know, that you are now selling yourselves to somebody else. And I know what you don't know, that I am buying another borough. May God's curse light on you all. May your houses be as open and as common to all excise officers as your wives and daughters were to me when I stood for your scoundrel corporation. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Her Worship, the Mayor, Councillor Eleanor Stanier.
This is a lovely occasion because it starts Christmas off, and because it's a Twickenham occasion, I'm wearing the Twickenham chain of office, which doesn't often get worn, and I'm now going to pass over to our Member of Parliament for Twickenham, because I'm sure he'd like to say a few words of greeting as well.
Well, thank you all for turning out. My best wishes for Christmas.
This is York House behind me, originally built for the Earl of Clarendon in 1660 and in private hands till after the First World War, when it was bought by the then Twickenham Urban District Council to be their council chamber, and it's been used by the borough ever since for council activities. And it contains my parlour. I don't think it's a typical town hall, but it's ours. These are the gardens of York House, which run down to the river. Behind me is a very remarkable fountain with some amazing statues which give great delight to all passers-by. The terrace outside the parlour is a very good place for entertaining people. We had drinks out there on the day of my investiture. That all seems a very long time ago now. It's been a fascinating year, but a long one, and very soon it will be time to put my feet up.